The girl married the billionaire because of her special blood type. She thought she could finally live a stable life. But her husband came early in the morning to accuse her, saying she had been with another man last night. The girl felt very confused, because the man with her last night was her newlywed husband. It turned out the man had a split personality. In the daytime he was a violent billionaire. At night he became a clingy husband. The cause of this was that when he was a child, he and his younger brother were kidnapped. He watched his brother sacrifice himself and be taken away by the kidnappers. This became the trauma of his life. The obsession to keep his brother alive created his second personality, but he himself did not know this. The girl felt she had been deceived, so she immediately tested her husband. To her shock, the man really showed no reaction. Before she could figure out what was happening, her husband told her she had 3 days to find this so-called man. The girl asked the butler if her husband had a twin brother. The butler said the man did have a brother, but he was killed at the age of 6. This reminded the girl of the man from last night, who kept calling her sister, but her husband was 5 years older than her. Thinking of this, she returned to the room and saw her husband standing on the balcony. She instinctively felt resistance, until she saw the mark she had left on his abs. Only then did she realize he was the man who had been with her last night. So she asked him the question in her heart. But the man said that during the day he was just acting to cover things up in front of outsiders. The girl believed his explanation. It turned out the grandfather had written in his will that whoever first produced a child for the family would become the heir of the family, and the second uncle had been watching him for this reason. The man had never been interested in the girl. His assistant suggested he go to the hospital for a checkup. At the same time, the girl received a call. Someone was willing to pay $10 million for her to treat a patient. She never expected that the patient was her own husband. She thought it was a new trick of his, so she took the initiative to hug him, but the man directly pulled out a gun and aimed at her. The girl was instantly terrified, grabbed her medical kit and ran away. At the moment she turned, the man's expression suddenly changed, but just as the girl reached downstairs, she was targeted by the second uncle. He used the girl's sick mother as leverage and ordered her to provide the man's weakness. The girl refused him outright. The second uncle then pointed a gun at her head. At this critical moment, the man arrived and stopped him.